Hello, April the 1st, 2021. This is not an April Fool's. This is actually my story. It's time. Today is the day. I hope you can see me because now you're out of my focal range with my glasses. I guess I could take them off. There we go. I'm going to have a sip of water because, I was taking a second or two to see if the cat's going to knock you down again because she just did that a second ago. And what I don't like to do is retake. I like to just blot, there it is, and put it up, regardless of the outcome. But I think y'all know this. Okay, so I had you set so it wasn't so bright on you. Good, good. I think this is good. I don't know. Maybe not. It's what's happening, though, my dears. It's what's happening. This is how it's happening. All right, wonderful. Okay, so my name is Kimberly. I am 57 years old this year. Sorry, minor adjustments. I still haven't picked up that selfie stick, so it's okay. I got you propped. I got you. and the thing you're propped on is actually a gift I received from the person that has a selfie stick for me. It's a little wooden calendar, kitten calendar. It's wonderful. But anyways, you fit there wonderfully. So, hi. Stop babbling, woman. Okay. I'm 57 this year. I have been clean from hard drugs for 27 years, I want to tell you. Yeah, about that, about 27 now. Um, little bits along the way, I've shared some of my story with certain places, people, and things. This is it. It's coming out there. I'm going to steal a little quote from Mr. Willoughby, and if you know the show I'm talking about, yes, I'm stealing it from Mr. Willoughby. A story told is a life lived. Okay, so once this is out there, that life is done, and it's time for new adventures and new journeys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've been doing. Oh, I thought she was knocking you down. I've been doing new adventures and new journeys for 27 years, working up to the person that I am becoming and the person that I am, and the self love and the self care that I allow myself now after years of hardship. So in my 20s, I discovered cocaine, and I snorted it for a long time. It definitely started to interfere with things. I was taking a course. My little ones were little. My little ones, they're not little anymore. They're in their 30s. So they were little. And I was taking courses, trying to, do the improvement, get a career, once they start school and all the things. So I discovered, um, the cocaine. I was feeling tired and overwhelmed, like between being a single mom and no, those are excuses. Okay, so anyway, this is how. Once I discovered the cocaine and the snorting and the oh my goodness, look at this, I can go for days. Um, I started using at school. I started using in the bathroom. I started using all the time. And being a single mom and on a limited income, monies would run out. So I paid for my drugs through sexual favors. I would sleep with the dealer and get what I needed. I thought I was, on top of the world and doing okay, and everything was fabulous because, you have this false sense of beauty and of vibrance, and you have this false sense that you're conquering the world when in fact you're not. You're just all fucked up with no place to go, really. And you're not beautiful, you're not on top of the world, you're not accomplishing anything positive. You're literally just destroying your life and those around you and those that love you. um, so after a while, like I'm talking at least a year of using cocaine, I hit a bit of a bottom. Obviously, not my rock bottom, because I went away and I got help and everything. But I did that. I think the first time sought help, like through treatment centers or NA and AA and things like that. I think I did more so for other people and not for my own self. Okay, they're not happy, and the kids are being neglected, and in a sense that um, I thought I was super mom, but in fact, when I was up here in my cloud of highness, their um, intimate needs as children weren't being met. Cleaned up. I went away for treatment, okay, and my parents, bless their hearts, they have been supportive, and my family all the way through all of my addiction and my sobriety, and they're still very much a key in my life now. All of them, my whole family, like from my children to my parents to my siblings. I didn't grow up in a dysfunctional home. Eh, no more dysfunctional than the normal average bear. There was no alcoholism, there was no single parentage, there was no um, none of that. Okay, we all went home at 5 o'clock at the end of the day and had dinner together. It was mandatory. We camped as a family. We fished as a family. We did things as a family. We worked on yard projects and things as a family. So my home life was whole and natural and loving. Okay. So it had nothing to do, like everybody's like, oh well, it's because you had a shit childhood, or alcohol, whatever. Okay, I didn't have that. I had a good childhood. I had a good family home base. I was raised in what we call, society calls, a normal household. So I went to treatment. I got cleaned up from the cocaine, the just snorting the cocaine, and I don't know. I had a couple months sobriety in, and it was getting close to Christmas time, and um, people coming home, like a lot of my friends growing up, they joined the services, and they were home for Christmas, and we got together and had some drinks, and everything was fine and wonderful, and reconnected with people, and really, one of the young fellows anyway reconnected with people and was doing swimmingly. And then after, in the new year, um, you're young, right? So you're still in that woo party, right? You 20-year-olds know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, there was two people who were like, hey, let's, and I'm like, oh, I really cannot do that because I don't have the strength to say no. And oh, we won't let you fall back into the cocaine, we won't let you fall back into the drugs, but we're going to go here and we're going to purchase this, and this is different. So off we go. Okay, so now I'm in a situation where I should not be in trying to live a sober life. Okay, you don't show up at a dealer's house, you just don't. Maybe hit a meeting, not a dealer. Anyway, um obviously I wasn't 100% ready to give up my drug of choice, because I went with them. I was the D&D, and how, whatever reason or situation or play you want to put on it. Okay, sorry. I still went, and I should never have done that, but I did. And the dealer's like, here, have a taste, and I'm like, no, I just literally got out of treatment a little while ago, and sorry, my nose is a little runny. No, it's just out. It doesn't matter. My nose is a little runny. I've had an emotional week, and so I'm just gonna put this out here now because I can't take any more of the emotions. enough is enough. Okay, so instead of the turmoil inside, here it is. Okay, here it is. So I know I'm all over the map, and I will get my story out. It might take 3 or 4 parts, but we will do it. Um, so anyway, have a little taste, and I'm like, no, I I have a problem, and I can't say no. So, oh, but this is different. Okay, this isn't like snorting. You won't get hooked on this. I promise. Oh my goodness, right? The lies, the slithering, the tricking. Anyway, are you sure? Oh, it's so different. Like, you're not going to get hooked on this. I'm like, okay. So, this being crack cocaine, it's not addictive. Cocaine is not addictive in any form. The lies we will believe when we're in our addiction, and we will believe any kind of bullshit that you throw at us when we're in our addiction if it's in our favor and helps us to use and abuse our addiction. So anyway, I tried this crack cocaine, and well, I'll tell you what, my feet didn't hit the ground for a few years, like 5 to 7, possibly 10. I've never actually sat down and figured out how long I used this stuff for, but it was a very long time. Okay, a long enough time that I am to the point where I can't afford to buy my drugs. I'm a single mom, and income is limited, limited, limited. You have your rent and then your foods for your babies, and nothing much left over. So, what do you do? Oh, let's date that dealer. Yeah, there's a plan, So, well, next thing you know, he's at my space and we're all together in a unit. And I am not sober for one day. Not one day since that moment. Okay, no. So, of course, I'm beautiful. I'm on top of the world. Everything is wonderful. I've got everything happening. It's all good, The fact that I didn't leave my bedroom, because God forbid I put my crack pipe down for 5, 7, or 10 years. I've never figured it out. It was a very long duration, and I'm thinking 7 is the number. If I really kind of think back, I think it was like a 7-year stint that I was high. My children, my little children, okay, we're talking 5 and 7 at the time. And I thought I was great. I really, really did, Turns out that they were dirty, they were greasy. The eldest is getting herself up and taking herself to kindergarten, grade 1. I don't know. I don't know. I was there physically. That's about it. So after a spell, I'm also selling it now because I got to do something to keep this addiction going. Okay. So everything else aside, the fact that I have daughters, the fact that I have children, the fact that I have a family that loves me is all irrelevant at this point. I don't care. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do I have a toot for later? Do I have that drug? And then one day there was a knock on my door. It was my dad. And my daughters were at their place, my parents' place. Don't ask me why. Maybe they spent the weekend. Maybe my parents came and collected them from under my nose and I didn't even know. I don't know. I just know that he was taking them from me. I'm sorry to do this to you, and it'll be the hardest thing I've ever done, is what my father said to me. But I'm taking your children from you and I'm giving them to their father. I had custody after that divorce and separation because I would rather them be there with him than have social services come in and take them away forever. Man, I tell you, you want to know what my reaction was? I lost my ever loving mind, okay? And it wasn't because of it was because he told me no, I think. Right? No, screw you. And I'm getting, I'm at my parents' place now, and I'm grabbing my kids, and I'm trying to pull them out of the house, going, you guys are coming with me. And he's stepping between me and them, saying, no, you don't understand. They are going. They're not. I cannot allow this anymore for them. You do what you're going to do, but I can't allow this. A couple days go by, and now I'm pleading. I mean, my world came to an end. There's a little sense of reality leaked in that day. And so I go back and I'm telling him that, I'm sober and it's okay. And no, don't take my kids. And it's okay, I'm sober. So he looks me in the eye and he's like, well, let's go to the hospital and get a drug test, a blood test. I want to see right now, that you're sober. So he called me on my shit. And my children were taken from me. And thank goodness it was my father that stepped in, and not social services or child protection or anything like that, because who knows where they would have ended up. Probably in the end, after all the rigmarole and the bullshit and the foster cares and the hiding and the system, they probably would have eventually ended up back with their biological dad. But my father said, no, that's not that. None of this is happening. And obviously that wasn't what sobered me up, because I spent many more years in my bedroom behind my crack pipe. The relationship was physical at times. It was abusive. The wheeling, the dealing, the running, the avoiding the cops, the trying not, getting raided and not getting caught, and all the things. Some arson in there, there's so many things I did when I was high and using, thinking that everything was absolutely normal and okay. I would get a new shipment of cocaine in, and before I would cut it, and yes, I cut it. Before I cut it and dissected it down to the most minimal amount of cocaine I could, so that I could sell it to you, so I could keep the good stuff for my own self. Okay, when that first came in, before I cut it, I had a friend that was, he liked his speedballs. And I would literally let him inject to test my quality of my cocaine. And as he's doing it, I would tell him, if you drop dead, I'm just dragging you to the bush, because I'm not calling the cops. These are not normal responses. These are not normal reactions. Like I said, I traded myself on more than one occasion for my drug addiction. I would get phone calls after my daughters were removed from them. It's like years are going by, okay, not just days, weeks, and months, but a year or two goes by, and they're like, Mom, when can we come home? I'm like, oh, I'm not ready yet, honey. I'm not ready. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. And then I had heard there were people coming around when I was selling still, and I'd heard that I was being watched. I lived in a duplex, and my parents actually lived next door. They moved. I didn't even know. I had no idea that they had actually moved out. Like, what, where are you, right? Anyway, one day I wake up to a cop standing over me, pistol drawn in my face, like I'm talking a foot away from me. And he was young, and I think this was his first bust because he was just vibrating. I mean, it could have been just raw adrenaline because, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know. I don't know. But that situation sounds very stressful for a police officer. You know, they don't know what to expect. So anyway, he's yelling, "Show me your hands! Show me your hands!" And I sleep with my teddy bear. I still do. Same teddy bear. I've had this teddy bear for a long time. Anyway, I sleep with my teddy bear, and so I show him my hands, and then he's all like, "Get up, right?" And I'm like, "I'm not dressed. I have no. I'm not. I sleep nude. I don't know, you know." And finally, I got mad and said, "Fine." And I threw the covers back and I got out of bed and I walked over. I mean, I haven't got a stitch on, and there's nothing but male policemen around, which I kind of think now wasn't really right. You know, there should have been female officer there, especially when they kept asking me where my children were. Where are your children? Where are your children? Right? And I'm looking like I'm so right in my drug addiction at this point. I'm looking at them like they have two heads. None of your fucking business where my kids are. And why are you in the house? Like, why are you here? At that point, I literally had nothing in the house. I had no drugs in the house. I had heard a couple weeks before that somebody they purchased from me and then they left. And I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours later, I get a phone call saying, "Dude, I got totally pulled over and taken in and strip searched and all the things. No, they didn't find, but they're watching you." So I clean house, right? I don't want to go to jail. You know, I mean, the fact that I'm a drug dealer of crack cocaine, the fact that I've lost my children, the fact that I trade myself for drugs, the fact that I let some sleazeball drug dealer move in with me, the fact that, my family and everybody are like way the fuck out in left field and they don't matter to me. All the things that are important, okay, were not important, you know, but this drug was. And so anyway, it was I didn't restock. Like I was supposed to go I was supposed to get more, and I didn't restock after I got that call. I was like, right, so I mean, I had my own personal stash, but not a big quantity. So when I got raided, you know, um, I was like, okay, right, whatever. And of course, they after they break into your house and they kick your door in and they trash everything in your house and they take your hairbrush literally out of your hands and rip it apart thinking you got something stashed in there when I just wanted to brush my hair. um, and they're screaming at you, where are your children? And there's guns and shotguns and cops and dogs and everything everywhere. And I'm inquiring about my own dog, and they're telling me not to worry about her, and well, they sedate your animal before they charge in because they don't know the dangers they're walking into to the training and all the things. So they walk me out, and the car that they're going to take me away is like down the road and around the corner. And so they paraded me down the street. I'm in my bare feet, a shirt and pants, no underwear, no undergarments, just that's it. And off we go. And I'm in the back seat. Again, they asked me where my children were. And so at that time, now I'm pissed. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You come in here with shotguns and no female officers, and you want to know where my kids are? Yeah, well, they're not here and they're safe, so don't even worry. Oh yeah, my kids are safe. I'm the good one. No, your kids are safe because your father stepped in and took them from you. Otherwise, they would have been in the middle of that bullshit. Bottom line, okay? So it's not the glamour, it's not the hype, it's not the things that we think drug addiction is. There's more. There's so much more. But it's not fresh and raw in me anymore. Like I said, I've shared a little bit over time. I need to pause this. I need to stop this here and then do a take two, part two, because my phone only holds so many minutes of record. I've been arrested and I'm being charged as a drug dealer. End of part one.